Welcome to Free to Cook. In this episode, we're going to be cooking a red wine reduction sauce or a Bordelaise. This sauce is rich and perfect for steaks or roast beef. It takes about an hour and a half to make, but it's well worth it. To start, roughly dice 2 shallots. Then 2 garlic cloves. You'll need some fresh thyme and 2 bay leaves. Next, I've kept some trimmings from some steak and some other cuts of beef in the freezer. So you're going to want a handful of beef trimmings. Chop it up until you have a rough mince, but make sure you don't take it too far. Next, you'll need a pan. It's important to add the meat trimmings while the pan is still cold because we want to render out that fat and not let it burn. Set to a medium to high heat. Cook the meat trimmings until it begins to brown. Then add your shallots and garlic. Continue to cook it off, adjusting the heat so the trimmings and shallots don't burn but caramelize. Add the thyme and bay leaves. All those little brown crunchy bits and pieces stuck to the pan is where a lot of the flavour for this sauce is gonna come from. Once nice and brown, add 1 cup of red wine. This will deglaze the pan, releasing all those beautiful brown bits. Reduce the wine until there's hardly any liquid in the pan. It'll take some time, but don't walk away because you don't want it to burn. Once the wine's reduced down like this, add 2 cups of chicken stock. Bring it to a simmer, then lower the temp so it slowly reduces. This could take up to an hour to an hour and a half. Once it's reduced halfway, it's ready to strain. Use a strain to separate the shallots and trimmings from the liquid. Make sure to press out every last drop. Let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes so the fat can rise to the top and cool. Next, skim the fat off the top of the liquid. At this stage, you could leave this in the fridge for a couple days if you want to prepare this sauce in advance. To finish off this sauce, cook your steak seasoned with salt and pepper. Remove from the pan and tent with foil to rest. Now add the liquid to the pan and bring it up to heat. In doing so, we will reduce it perfectly and it will thicken up. Turn off the heat and stir in a couple knobs of butter. Season with salt to taste. Once you've mixed it in, you should have a nice, thick, shiny sauce. A good way to tell if it's done, it'll stick to the back of a spoon. Pour it over that beautiful steak and there you have it, a red wine reduction sauce. This sauce is beautifully rich and will take your meat up to the next level. You could keep this sauce in the fridge for a few days or freeze it to be used when needed. If you found this recipe helpful, don't forget to share it, subscribe to the channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and if you have any recipe suggestions, leave them in the comments.